Hello there, welcome to It's a Shaw Thing. I'm your host, Rob Shaw, and it's time for Rob's Hoopla. We're going to go over some basketball analysis now and rank some of the things that have taken place so far this season. First, biggest surprise. Well, it's either going to go to one of two guys. Chris Duhon, what a year he's had for the New York Knicks. Thank you very much, Mike D'Antoni. But I'll tell you, this guy himself has been great with 12 points per game, 8 assists, knocking down some threes, getting some steals. That is a guy who's really been a great surprise, one of the best fantasy players so far this year. Another huge surprise, Nene Hilario in Denver, filling in for Marcus Camby's spot, has been great as well. 14 points. It's actually more points than Camby offered. 7 rebounds, 1.6 blocks, 1.4 steals as well. Nene Hilario's been offering it all while shooting 60-something%. He's been hitting his free throws at a rate of better than 70%, which would be a career high. Those two guys are the biggest surprises. As far as the biggest bust in my mind, Shawn Marion. That's a guy a lot of people took in the first round, and his 12 points, 9 rebounds, 1.4 blocks, 1.5 steals just aren't enough for what people drafted him as. They figured in Miami he'd have some freedom on offense, be able to get you 18, 19 points a game, a bunch of rebounds, a bunch of blocks, even a lot of threes. But the threes aren't coming either. In fact, he's getting 1 3-pointer per 3 games. So Shawn Marion been a huge disappointment so far this season. That's a guy that certainly might want to put on the trade block. As far as the best trade bait, a guy you might want to consider trading right now, well, Dwight Howard. I love the guy to death. I think he's a great NBA player. But when it comes to fantasy teams, it's like the Shaq days. You're sacrificing an entire column, and that is the free throw percentage. I would consider moving this guy while his value is high. His value certainly is high. He's healthy, 21 points, 14 boards, 4 blocks a game. Unbelievable numbers from Howard, but I still think your fantasy team is doomed with him. Consider trading him. You could get a bunch of good talent in return. And as far as the best bargains who might be out there, you might consider trading Dwight Howard for a guy like Nate Robinson and Al Horford. Al Horford right now getting 11 points, 8 rebounds, but his season started slow because of injuries. He'll get accustomed to the NBA very soon. He was very good last year, particularly at the end of last season. I see Al Horford as a guy who could get you eventually maybe 18 points and 10 rebounds a game. Not quite yet, but I do think this year he should be able to get up to 14 points a game and 10 or 11 rebounds. And his blocks, by the way, are much improved. Al Horford is definitely a guy to consider getting. He reminds me a lot of Tim Duncan, obviously not quite at that level yet. As far as another guy to go after, Nate Robinson. He was banged up. A lot of people even dropped him. Huge mistake. He's now the starting shooting guard of the Knicks, and that position alone will offer him around 17 to 20 points a game. He gets you some assists. He even gets you rebounds at 5'8", getting over 4 per game right now, over 1.5 steals per game as well, and he knocks down 3-pointers, which is great for fantasy value, hits his free throws percentages and all that bad. This is a guy who's going to get the job loss from Jamal Crawford and unfortunately the resignation and retirement of Cuttino Mobley. So Nate Robinson, a guy that you should certainly invest in, as he will be the starting shooting guard of the Knicks, and that's all that matters right now. Well, that's Rob's Hoopla. If you have any questions, email us, fantasy@opensports.com.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy@opensports.com.